What steps would you take as mayor to grow Modesto's economy in this economic downturn?
Okay, like I said, I don't think government isn't the solution to getting jobs into Modesto. Government's job is to provide an atmosphere where businesses will grow. Some of these incentives we talked about, becoming business friendly. We have met with all of the manufacturers and businesses in the community. I've been talking to the Alliance, and there's a program that's going to be coming out pretty soon that it's a displaced worker training program. But the problem right now, there's no jobs when you say you want to go into HVAC maintenance. There's no jobs out there. So instead of doing it the traditional way, we're going to be looking at going to a HVAC contractor and say, you hire this person, we'll train them on the job, and you'll get, we're an enterprise zone, which they get a tax rebate from the state, as well as this training money. So we're gonna get people into work, into jobs, rather than the traditional way, because again, we have to do something to make it so that government's doing whatever we can do to help businesses be better. And again, I think it's the environment that we place here. I think we have to work together to make those things happen.
Thank you. Mr. Ariola?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. What steps would you take as mayor to grow Modesto's economy in this economic downturn?
It's difficult one. I have to make one in order for it to happen. You know, but if I can get a grant, if I can get something done from the state in order to help it. I mean, I haven't viewed the whole thing. Right now, we're not in an economic crisis. I mean, we're right. We should be.
Thank you, Mr. Zalaki.
There are severe challenges in Modesto right now that we all know of, and we've all been seeing it happen to our city, that has to do with businesses and the challenges that businesses have right now, just remaining open, the existing businesses. So many have collapsed. I just drive downtown and look at the number of restaurants that have changed. I drive down McKenna Avenue and I see the stores that have closed. I drive into shopping malls and I see stores that have closed. And the foreclosure it has been an absolute catastrophe to our community. So what can we do about it? Well, first we have to look at the economic model Modesto was in. Modesto is largely an agricultural economy. It's been that way for decades. It needs to be preserved. It's our heritage. But we've always relied in the past on a construction industry recovery model. In other words, when interest rates went up, construction slowed down, the economy slowed down. And then after inflation cooled off a little bit, start lowering interest rates, people would be able to start buying buildings and whatever, and the economy would start picking up again because jobs would quickly be hired. Those are the plumbers, electricians, the sheetrockers, the roofers, all of those kinds of jobs. Well, now this economy is a little different problem. The economy is down and interest rates are down. We're not going to have the recovery we had in the past. So to fix it means you can't just go out and depend on the small businessman to step out and be able to recover it, because it's not there. We have to recreate Modesto and diversify that industrial manufacturing base. And to do that, we need some planning, which we've not done. I don't think adequately. That's one of my criticisms. Let's create that model where major manufacturers can go. That's on the freeway. We've always been reluctant to do that. That's where manufacturers want to go. So let's start that planning staff going right now. Free up the small businessmen by introducing an easy, fast-track process through City Hall, friendly, that they can get used to get them going. And then go after the manufacturers. And I have a plan for doing that, but I don't have time to explain it right now. Just ran out.
Thank you. Mr. Marsh?
Thank you. There's really three prongs. Some are short-term, some are long-term. The first one we've talked a little bit about already, and that's making it easier to do business here. Modesto in the last couple of years has taken great strides to doing just that. And the only problem is the whole world is not doing any work right now. And so you don't see some of that. Taco Bell recently came in and remodeled all of their stores. They've been doing it statewide. They sent us a letter telling us how great it was working with Modesto. It was one of the best situations they've had in all of California. And I think it starts to show that we're business ready. So as projects come, I think that the word will get out that we are business friendly. We're trying to be business friendly. We actually, with Golden Corral, that just opened with 140 jobs. The company that actually built that had never built a project before. And they came into town and they were having trouble. And we actually assigned them a staff person that walked them through every single part of that process. And they said it was great. They said they had no problem at all. It went faster than they had expected, and they were open ahead of schedule and under cost. And a lot of that was because of the way we treated them. We need to, on long term, we need to improve our educational level, and I've talked about my commitment to that a little bit. And finally, we need to let the word be out there that we are ready. We have 600 acres of property below Kernan that is available. 200 of it is shovel ready today. And so we have the property. We have 500 acres available in Beard Industrial Park for large industry. So Modesto's ready. And we just need to market. We need to work with the Alliance and the Chamber and all the other city leaders to let them know that Modesto's ready for you.
Thank you. Mr. Ariella, we're going to start with you. Do you have any real plans to control the gang and drug problems in our city?
Yeah, I do. I actually brought a Homeland Security to the airport district and for checking drugs or anything, any luggages. FBI bring in, also bringing the gang task force in here to be working on establishing a budget cut to the police department. Well, actually, through Modesto's police department, with Hurton. And so I'm working on that right now, actually. So I do have it covered. I'm behind a lot of people, and plus I'm behind people coming back from the Middle East to work as police officers to do surveillances. Along with this, it won't be, unsupervised when you're doing it. But it'll decrease a lot of things. A lot of things have already been decreasing, and the crimes, already going real low.
Thank you. Mr. Marsh, same question.
Thank you. Gangs and drugs are a major problem. And when I talked earlier about there being warts on Modesto, that's one of them. And we really have to do everything we can do to fight that. We don't have enough police on the streets. That's the first one. We need enough police on the streets to actually have policemen walking the disadvantaged areas of our town and getting to know the people there. There's hundreds and hundreds of good people on every section of town. And they'll let us know what the problems are and where the problems are before they fester. If we're not out doing community policing, we're really doing a disservice to all of Modesto. And that would be one of my main goals, is to get cops walking precincts in the more troubled areas of town so that they get to know the families that live there, get to know the problems, and I think that's a leading way that you can really deter and really force drug and gangs out of the area. They don't like to be watched. They don't like anybody looking at them. And they're going to go where it's easy, and we need to make it not easy here in Modesto.
Thank you. Mr. Hahn, same question.